So I've got some burning questions here for a cruise ship entertainer. So if you don't mind, tell us your name and what you do at Carnival Cruise Line.
I am Brandon Baggett. I'm from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I am the magician on board. There is, at all these Carnival ships, there's the only one ship has a resident live-on magician, and that's the Mardi Gras, and that's what I do.
So I remember cruising has changed obviously a lot post-COVID, and I didn't cruise that much pre-COVID. But I miss the magicians strolling in the main dining room. Why is that not a thing anymore?
It is a thing, I think, because, and we have one here on board. He's very good. I think because, especially on the XL ships, everything is so big. There's so many food options to go to, and this guy starts at 5 p.m. And goes all the way till 11, and he just goes restaurant to restaurant. And
okay, I must have missed it. This is my third time on Mardi Gras.
Really? Yeah.
So you don't ever do that?
No, I'm
so you're just
strictly stage. Yep.
Magician. Okay. So a common question that a lot of people wanted to know is, how do you get a job? And I think that getting a job as an entertainer is probably very different than like crew.
Yeah.
So what was your process of getting a job as an entertainer?
I lucked out. I was doing a show in Las Vegas, in a seedy part of Las Vegas, in the Arts District. So it wasn't like a big fancy resort or anything. But this guy came up to me and said, "Hey, if you ever want to work cruise ships, give me a call." And I had my show in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and winter was coming and it was starting to get slow. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I picked up the phone and called him. And after that, being any entertainer, you can do live auditions, you can do video submissions. I had to pretty much just film a couple of the magic tricks that are done in some of the shows that Carnival produces here that have magic. And they offered me a job within 4 weeks of that phone call. I was on the Mardi Gras and I haven't left.
So when was that?
That was October of 24.
Okay, so you've been on here for...
Yeah, I'll do 4 or 5 months at a time.
Okay, that's a question people had. It's like contracts.
I'll do 2 months off, 3 months off, maybe. Like I leave in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I go home, and then I come right back in April, and I'm here all the way to the end of September.
Okay. So how does that work? That's very unconventional. Most people obviously work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So you work on a cruise ship for a few months, you go home for a few months. Yep. You literally just chill at home?
I do for about the first couple of weeks, and then I get bored. Luckily, where I live, there's a lot of shows, and I spend a lot of time going to those shows, so I have a great relationship in the community. So sometimes if I want to jump in a show, I pick up the phone, and especially to work things out for whenever I come back here, to be able to polish them. But normal people that work on this cruise ship don't get days off. There's a high... I wouldn't say easy, but it's very accessible for anyone. Like if someone who works in a daycare in the United States or in any country, if they want to do daycare staff here on board, they don't get days off. They work 7 days a week. All the salon, the spa, bartenders, they work 7 days a week, no days off, and their contracts can be between 6 and 9 months at a time.
So I'll just ask you a very blunt question. The dichotomy between cruise ship employee, entertainer, cruise director, captains is very different than working on a cruise ship at every other. So does that create sort of a societal caste system where, not obviously that you don't feel like you're better than anyone, but is there like this kind of hierarchy on a cruise ship?
I thought coming into it that there would be some kind of like segregation or separation, but no, everyone is just so happy. And obviously we have a crew bar here on board, and everyone is just the sweetest people you've ever met that work on these ships, and they're from all over the world. And no, there's no separation at all. There's at least that we feel. Bartenders will even joke with us, "Oh, it must be nice to have a night off."
Yeah.
So entertainers, we get 1 to 2 nights off a week, mainly for the singers because they have to save their voices. Me, I've saved my voice because I talk obviously quite a bit in the shows. Mm-hmm. But yeah, everyone's it sounds crazy, and it's not. Then there's no juice to it, but everyone's a big happy family on here.
So you really, okay, honestly, so you don't feel any resentment from crew that... I also want to ask you about cabins, because I hear that you get a slightly nicer cabin down in the bowels of the ship where the crew live. Yep. There's no resentment at all that you feel?
Not at all. Everyone, like, and you notice it because you pass, they all love coming to the shows. If a lot of these crew members, they get, so you can earn nights off. Like for like guest comments and things like that. They are super excited to come to the shows. All the crew members are very supportive. Yeah, never any kind of resentment. Everybody just gets to work. But the cabin thing.
Yeah, tell me about that. What's your cabin like?
So if there's different tiers for like seniority. So solo performers, which are like the singers, me, the magician, solo performer will have a single cabin. I live on deck 4. but I don't have a window or anything like that. Some of the singers have a porthole window.
Is it the same as an interior?
Yes.
Or a regular stateroom?
Probably about the size of where we're sitting right now. It's very small.
Are you on a deck with... I feel like I've been on like deck 4 before.
Yeah, I'm on the crew part, right in the very front of the ship. Like right where it comes to its bow there, I'm right on the side.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in crew quarters, which means even doing entertainment, we have other duties that we do. So like we'll have drill, which is what we do every other week. We have that in Costa Maya this week. So I have to participate in that. I'm a leader in the drill, so I have a duty and an obligation to be there as well. A lot of the dancers, they'll have to teach dance class. They do strength and conditioning training, but like dancers, they share a cabin, just like, and they may not share with each other as well. You may have somebody from youth staff and a fun squad, or a fun squad and a dancer. They try to keep them just to keep the schedules aligned.
Okay.
That way, if someone's working night shift, they're not running all the way out and waking people up. But yeah, the cabins, and we call it Entertainment Way on deck 6 is right behind the theater, and all the entertainers live there. Yeah. Everybody in entertainment staff, except me, because I have the same cabin every time I come back. It's very nice.
So the non-single cabin folks, is there a lower level of the ship with smaller rooms? Because it sounds like you're kind of all over. You got 6, you got deck 4.
Yeah, crew cabins are on deck 6, 5, 4, and 3.
So you're all around.
All over.
I don't know. I always had this perception that all of the crew were like on deck 1 or 0, because I've actually stayed on deck 1 yes before. So I was like, kind of the expectation, like down in the ship. You know, when you go off on disembarkation on port days, and like no carpet, it's just like cement floor.
Yeah, deck 3 is pretty much what we call the I-95. Okay. So it is a stretch, one hallway that goes all the way from the front of the ship to the back. Laundry's down there, the crew mess where we all eat, and it looks kind of just like Lido. It's a very nice like dining room.
Do you have the same food?
Yes, we get the exact same food that you guys do. Sometimes we don't get like Fahrenheit 55 steakhouse or anything like that. But the cool thing about being in entertainment is that if we have a night off, we're allowed to go into the dining room, go to Rudy's Steakhouse, do all that stuff.
Okay, so again, it's like, I know you say there's not like a caste system, but some levels of staff can go and eat, but like the housekeeping crew or my room steward wouldn't be able to go.
Right. They call it guest area privileges. Okay. So certain level of crew members, depending on what they do, have crew or guest area access and some don't. And a lot of the times it's just because they're working so much. Those bartenders will work 14, 15 hours in a day. They will, and they'll take a break and then they'll go work again, and they'll take a break and they'll go work again. And they don't just put them in one bar. So you'll see bartenders working, and they'll be in the casino in the morning, and then they'll be at Red Frog in the evening.
That's actually a question somebody had. They said that they have seen even some entertainers that do double duty. So I think someone mentioned that they saw maybe a comedian, or not a comedian, but some dancer that also was like an usher in the comedy club, which is where we're at now. Is that true? Do any crew do double duty? I know crew do. But...
Yeah, entertainers not so much. They'll do, so like you'll see the playlist singers and dancers, they'll do like the Dr. Seuss show. But as far as pulling other duties outside of e-mustering and doing the life jacket demonstrations, all the entertainment team, we do that. I was actually on e-muster in the afternoon shift.
Oh, so you were doing the scanning in and doing the muster?
Yep.
Okay, so obviously, unless you've sailed Mardi Gras before, nobody would be like, hey, that's a magician.
Yeah.
So later on in the cruise, when people then recognize you, do you get recognized? Is that hard for you to eat in like the Lido buffet?
Yeah, I mean,
do people bother you?
No, they never bother me. But like tonight, I'm doing Carnival's M Theory magic show. All day today, I could be walking around doing whatever I want to do. And then after tonight, because I'm in shows tonight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's day off, Thursday I'm in a show, Friday I'm in a show. So after tonight, it really kicks off. I can't really go anywhere, but I don't mind it. Everybody comes on vacation and they're all in great moods. So
are they though? Cruise people can be tested.
It just depends. For the most part, Port Canaveral is known for being one of the friendlier ports.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so we not too bad here. Everybody's pretty friendly. I don't mind interacting, having a cocktail with a guest. Okay. It's a good time.
So speaking of commingling with guests.
Yes.
I actually have a lot of friends that are cruise ship entertainers, so I feel like I know some of the tea. I don't know how much is true versus enforced, but is it true that it is strictly verboten to mingle with a guest, and that will, if you get caught, it's immediate termination, you get kicked off at the next port?
Yes.
Fly yourself home. It's very Dutch.
The entertainers are actually encouraged to be out in the guest area, mingle with the guest. But absolutely no going in guest cabins. That is a big no-no. If you go into a guest cabin, you will be terminated immediately. They do allow, which makes it really nice. So like whenever we have family and loved ones come on board, there's certain paperwork that we can fill out the week prior to be able to get them crew access, to be able to go into guest cabins, to be able to go have dinner with them. And that makes it really nice. No fraternization with the guests is a no-no.
So that's another question I got too is, can your family come visit you? How does that work?
Yeah. So my dad, we have a friends and family line that we can use for immediate family and friends. That gives us a pretty good discount. But if they also have this thing, so like my fiance, whenever she comes on board, they have, if you have a single cabin, which I do, they have a companion pass, which is a very low rate, and she can come on and spend up to 6 weeks in a calendar year with me.
Actually, in your cabin? That's really nice.
It's very nice. It allows you to have that connection still at home, because if you had to come out here for 4 or 5 months at a time and you were getting ready to get married, that would kind of be really tough on your relationship. So it makes it really nice.
And related to that, I think I know the answer to this, but if, say, your fiance wanted to work on a cruise ship, would she be allowed to room with you and work?
Yeah, so they have this thing called linking, and a lot of there's a couple in our cast that are linked, and whenever you link, especially in entertainment, you'll link together. Link is like in the cloud. Yeah. But once you do, you can go and request certain contracts together. So then whenever they come on as a group, 2 of them together, they'll have a single cabin. Sometimes they get a bigger bed, 1 bed, or they'll have the bunk beds. Just depends on the ship and the availability.
Okay.
But yeah, you can link up. My fiance is box office manager back home at a theater, and we have pets and all that. So she stays there, and I come here and gonna do it for until the wheels fall off, I guess.
Do you get Wi-Fi?
Yes.
You have to pay for it?
Yeah, we have our own Wi-Fi packages. We can buy it daily, we can buy it weekly, and we can buy it for a whole month. I buy it for a month to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive for guests.
Yeah, it's still expensive.
Yeah, it's always the most reliable. So I know I don't want to ask you about compensation. I'm a Southerner too, so we're polite. We're not rude. But do you get paid hourly or you're per contract?
I'm per contract. Yeah. Well, it's pretty much just like everywhere else. Everyone gets paid every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. You get a contract, you sign the amount, and now we do still clock in, but us as entertainers, we're all on contracts. So we still clock in before we go in to let everybody know.
And so another question somebody had that was interesting is, do you have a union, like an entertainers union?
Not that I'm aware of,
okay.
no.
I think you probably know.
Yeah.
And so what do you do on your off days? You walk around the ship? Do you get off on port days, or are you tired of going to the same ports?
I do get tired of going to the same ports. Yeah. Luckily, this week is our switch-up week, where we go to Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan. We do that run once a month. The other ones, it's Nassau, Amber Cove, Grand Turk. My off days, even like today, I have a rehearsal. It's not an off day because I have shows tonight. But you really gotta. It's easy to get in your own mind because it feels like Groundhog Day. Because every day is the same. So you gotta really go into the gym, eating somewhere different. The little things. I enjoy going to the events. I went to Family Feud auditions today. And just watched just to get out. I did laundry, but I enjoy getting off in ports. My call time for rehearsals is 4:00 on show days. So, and most back on boards are 3:30 or 4:30 anyways. So I can get off with you guys. I'll go to the beach, hang out. Wednesday, we actually have a crew party in Roatan.
Okay.
On ship.
Who organizes that?
The ship does. Our HR department. They do such a good job. They throw crew parties at least every other week. We'll take up this space right here in the punch liner. They'll shut it down. They'll put covers on the glass, and
so you can really
turn up. We move all the seats out. They bring us our own DJ.
But still, you got to behave because that's like Carnival sanctions. Do you guys do your own thing down below deck?
We have our own crew bar, which is cool. We have crew parties. Like we had a crew party last week in Serenity, which is up top, beautiful area.
It's the adults only. Yeah.
They open up the bar for us.
Nice.
It's very nice.
So fraternizing with guests, obviously a no-no.
Yes.
Fraternizing with other crew.
That is encouraged.
That's encouraged. Okay, you know what I mean by fraternizing.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yes, you are allowed to mingle with other crew members.
Does that happen a lot?
Yes, it is.
So
a lot of people get married and they stay together. It's unreal. Just about I would say the majority of the crew are in a relationship with each other.
well, that's handy.
Yeah.
On the ship together.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of hit the same 6 ports over, and 2 of those ports are 2 of the most hated on cruise ports. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but I want to know, what is your favorite of those, and which is your least favorite?
Of the Nassau, Grand Turk, Amber Cove,
and
Cozumel.
And
My favorite, man, that's tough. I love Cozumel, and I've come to really like Roatan, and I love Costa Maya. There's not a bad thing I can say, because if you get off in Costa Maya and you jump and you say, I want to go to the beach, I want to go to town on the boardwalk. There's a beautiful boardwalk, I'm sure you've seen, with all the shops and stuff. Love doing that. I can get great food. My least favorite port, I would say, is probably Amber Cove. Just because I go there and it's our Wednesdays is our day off, and it's always Amber Cove. And there's only so much you can do without going into town.
Yeah, and you can't walk.
No.
That's what I don't like about Amber Cove.
Yeah, Amber Cove. The beach in Grand Turk, if you want a beach day, I'll let you in on a little secret. I found Jack Shack was the big thing, but now it's overpopulated.
So what's the new secret?
It's called Taco Bar. You got to take a cab, but it's only 5 minutes away, and it's a $4 or $5 ride. You pretty much, they'll take you out. You'll ride down.
Okay.
It's on the same beach side. Yeah, you can't walk to Taco Bar, though. Okay, but when you get to Taco Bar, there's a little bar, there's covered picnic tables, and you got a private beach right there. There's another place called Sandbar that's right next to Taco Bar. Then their food, the further you get away from port, the better it's going to be. But yeah, tacos, I think I have all the time.
Really?
All the time. Yeah.
See, I told you, cruisers can be hateful people. I love cruisers. All the time. 90% are great, but you know.
I am a second-generation magician. So my dad and my mom were illusionists as I was growing up. So I've been on stage ever since I can remember. So there's not very many situations that I haven't been put in. And it doesn't happen as much because I'm doing a lot of my family shows. But whenever I do my adults-only show, people will heckle, but it doesn't last very long. We have ways of shutting it down very quickly.
So is that more something you take control of, or does security just kind of come and...
It's never gotten to the point where security would have to come in, but that's something I normally just take care of on stage. And if it's the adult show, I'll poke at them.
Well, it's easier in the adult show.
Yeah.
Because you can drag someone.
Yeah, but I don't really get heckled as much. I mean, it happens, but it's mainly like whenever you do like a really cool trick and then people are side chattering, and it's just, we have ways of shutting it down very quickly.
So is that more something you take control of, or does security just kind of come and...
It's never gotten to the point where security would have to come in, but that's something I normally just take care of on stage. And if it's the adult show, I'll poke at them.
Well, it's easier in the adult show.
Yeah.
Because you can drag someone.
Yeah,
and
but I don't really get heckled as much. I mean, it happens, but it's mainly like whenever you do like a really cool trick and then people are side chattering, and it's just... People forget it's not a television. We can see you and hear you.
Yeah, I hear cruisers can behave badly sometimes, unfortunately. So this is a Carnival XL ship. It's like the creme de la creme. And this is the only one that you've done. It's the big fancy one, right?
Yep.
As a frequent Carnival cruiser, I'll tell you, not all ships are this nice. Is there kind of a stepping stone? Because I've noticed with cruise directors, usually the newbies kind of get stuck on the small, old, not so great ships, and you kind of have to prove yourself and work your way up.
Yes.
Is that kind of the case with entertainers too? Or are you just that good that you just get on the nice ones?
So there's two. Well, this is the only ship that has the magic levels in Love in Vegas, in Voodoo Moon, in those center stage shows, which if you haven't seen them, definitely do it, because they're only on XL ships and they're specific to this ship. Like Celebration has Circus and Rio. Jubilee has their brand of productions. But on Mardi Gras, and it's kind of the same way. Like, we have center stage cast and we have playlist cast. So the playlist cast are the ones that you see perform song and dance shows in the Mardi Gras theater. Those playlist shows are all different throughout the ships, but they keep the same type of casting. So they will bounce around quite a bit. A lot of the people that are performing on center stage a lot of them used to be playlist. And they look at it as some other employees would look at it and go, they must be the cream of the crop. It's not necessarily true, because when I'm coming back on my next contract, they pulled one of the playlist singers, and now he's coming to center stage, and then he could go right back to playlists if he wanted to.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then the cruise directors, absolutely. They really take pride in these XL ships, as they should, because they're beautiful, and they try to put the best of the best on these ships.
Are you buddies with Jackie too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Jackie's fantastic.
Yeah, I've had Lee too.
Yeah, Jackie's great.
Did you have Scotsman?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't flying. I think
Chris,
he was on this.
Yep.
Yeah, he retired though.
Yeah, he did. I can't believe he went fleet for a while.
Yeah.
He's so fun and so informative, and it's all about, as a cruise director, it's one thing to entertain the guests, but you got to have your team on, like, they got to have your back. And Jackie, what I love about him so much is he's always trying to help the next person move up. On the fun squad, they work and they have to check off tiers, whether that's I did bingo, I did this, I did that. Jackie always tries to put everybody in the right positions to be able to excel to one day become a cruise director.
That's nice.
So I have so much respect for him. He's fantastic.
So related to that too, someone had a really good question, which is for you and what you do. Is this a career goal? Is this kind of the upper echelon of career, or is it a stepping stone?
It's one of those things where I always wanted to work cruise ships, but I've always had a residency somewhere on land. And the hardest thing about being an entertainer is finding consistent work. And this was my dream for a long time. And my big dream is to eventually to be able to take my adult show to Las Vegas for a prime residency in a resort. That is the goal. But I've always wanted to do this. I've got a 16-year-old son back home, so being a good dad and working on cruise ships wasn't really kind of in the cards because you're away from home. And one day he came up to me and he goes, "Dad, get ready to be 17 or 16. What are you doing? What are you waiting for?" So whenever that guy called me, I was like, "This guy wants me to do cruise ships." He's like, "What are you waiting for? It's been your dream. Go do it." So yeah, he's very supportive. He comes on. As soon as I get home, going with him, it's great.
Has he come on the ship with you?
Yeah,
Has he done
he loves it. Yeah, my family comes all the time. My dad will actually be here next week for my final week.
Okay.
It'll be great.
And then you go home for, you said, a couple months.
Yep.
Do you get seasick at all anymore?
Never.
Or so even at the beginning you didn't?
No, we had some really rough seas come December, which is, that's prime time rough water season. But we had some rough ones. Jackie and I were standing there, we're going, whoa. Some people get sick. I've never gotten sick.
Yeah, I don't get seasick anymore. I used to. I was on Conquest in December, and it was it was rough. And we went to, it was like Western Caribbean, it was bad. So, can you do a magic trick for us? I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I have on.
What's just what you have?
Do you have any coins in your purse?
We'll see. Maybe. I have very little things in here. I have some dollar bills for tips. By the way, speaking of tips and gratuities, look at that.
Oh, love that.
The hot button question in cruising is gratuities. Do you have much insight into that? Obviously, entertainers, you don't get it.
Yeah, I know that whenever we, as crew members, when we go out into guest area, and let's say I go get a cocktail and we have drink limits just like you guys do.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to pay do you get a discount?
We get a discount, but no matter what, the service charge, no matter where we go eat or anything like that, is on our receipts.
So you incur a service charge that goes back.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I've heard that they get all those tips and they know if they're being tipped or not. It says it on their receipt.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's probably the most controversial cruise issue.
Yeah.
It's gratuities and, who gets the gratuities and does the cruise line actually keep it? And I think Carnival's pretty good about it, but I know some other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, there's questions of, does the company keep part of that?
Right.
Do the behind the scenes people that we don't interact with as guests, do you know anything else about?
Yeah, it was pulled up in a Q&A. And every now and then, once a month, they'll ask me to be a part of like a Q&A, and somebody else answered the question, and they do in fact get all those gratuities. So whenever people, some guests will see them on the last day, go up to guest services and try to get them removed. And it's just like, man, like those people really do work very hard, and they really do deserve those gratuities. So if you're one of those, rethink it.
I have some thoughts on those people. No shade, but yes, shade. Do you know? So actually, this came up in one of the Facebook groups the other day of like, and I know in Carnival you can't remove gratuities till that last night.
Right.
Do you know who could remove gratuities? Does that?
The only way I would know is if I'm walking by to go to Pig and Anchor to get a sandwich on that last day, and I come back. Yeah. And I'm just passing, and then you just assume that's what they're there for.
Yeah. But see, then I feel bad because I usually have casino charges I can deal with. And I'm like, I'm not getting my gratuities removed, I promise.
Yeah, no, we never really know. And it's, I mean, not my cow, not my farm.
Yeah, exactly.
All
right, so let's see the coin trick.
All right, we're going to take this quarter right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you hold on to it, okay? You hold on to it. Magic has sound effects. We'll do this right here. You can take the quarter and you squeeze it really tight. Put your hand over mine like this. Watch, and it'll actually pass right through your hand to mine. This is the smallest magic trick I've done in ages.
I have a low bar for entertainment, so that is high quality for me.
Then you'll love what I'm going to do tonight.
Well, I have seen part of your show.
Yes.
It was on the last night, though, when I was on Mardi Gras last time in October, and it was late, and I'm like, I got to pack, and I got to...
Yeah, it's never... I want to say it's packed, but I mean, and that theater holds 970 something people. I normally have about 600 or 700 in there. So it's not full. Tonight's show will be full because it's the first C day.
Yeah.
It's elegant night. Yeah. Everybody's going to be to the nines, and who doesn't love a good magic show?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I did see the first 15 minutes or so.
Awesome. Totally different show. Yeah. Totally different show.
I do want to see this one tonight.
Yeah.
So
Totally different show.
Yes.
And what's really cool is that I get to perform all these different shows. So like I'm in talks right now. We're talking about the dream and where it goes from here. Not that I'm tired of doing this, but I have to fill that other time. So I'm working with some agents right now that are in talks with Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, as well as the big ears, Disney, to do fly-on shows, which would be absolutely awesome.
Are you allowed to do that? Jump ship from? They don't get salty, like
no, but as long as it doesn't interfere with the contract.
So when you go home, you could technically come back and go do Norwegian and flop around.
Yeah.
So they should pay you more money to retain. That's just what I think.
In the perfect sense, and this is the navigation where we're going. We've had some conversations with Carnival that whenever I'm not on this resident contract, to utilize me as their go-to fly-on magician. So that way I do stay with the company. So I had a meeting last week with corporate. Fingers crossed. We'll go from there and see what happens.
All right. Well, good luck. Well, thank you for spending time with me.
I appreciate it.
If you
absolutely
cruise on Carnival, you're on here for another
2 weeks, but I come back in April. I'll be here from April to September. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Brandon Baggett Live. You'll see it. I've got some videos on there, some of the big magic stuff that we do. Back home, we have a full-scale illusion show. Appearing helicopter, motorcycle, putting sticks in boxes and all the good stuff.
So. Well, we look forward to seeing your sessions.
Love it.
Thank you.